Hello everyone, I'm Krasi, and this is my week for the 12 Ascendants. I will first tell you what will be the situation, the stellar situation on the sky for the week to come from the 10th until 16th of February. And after that, we look ascendant per ascendant to the 12 ascendants or moon signs. We will look from the perspective of the fixed sidereal Babylonian zodiac. Now, also the timestamps for each of the 12 ascendants you will find under this video. So this week is of course important like every other week, but this week, today 9th of February, Mars is entering the sign of sidereal Sagittarius to meet Ketu, Jupiter and Pluto there. And this is important. Mars together with Ketu can be a bit explosive because Mars and Ketu, if you remember, I remember that how powerful this was in 2018, Mars-Ketu conjunction, and how many natural disasters and fires this brought, and how many accidents. So this is indeed not harmonious conjunction, Mars-Ketu. It is happening in the sign of Sagittarius, where Jupiter is ruling, of course. Mars is in his own triplicity fire sign, so Mars also has certain dignities. He's not completely unhappy there, but still, Mars-Ketu conjunction, my experience when what I've seen so far is disharmonious. Mars, Jupiter, this is happening at the moment when Mars is entering the sign of Sagittarius, but still the conjunction between the two is not happening as to a degree, like they will not be exactly in the same degree, but still at the moment when Mars enters the sign of Sagittarius, which is today, and he will stay there until 23rd of March, I think, until this very moment, they are already exchanging energies. Mars and Jupiter will also meet, and this is happening on the 20th of March, but still, like I will make separate videos on this, but still, at the moment, like I told you, when Mars enters the sign of Sagittarius, they are exchanging energy. This is conjunction by sign. So what is this? The Mars-Jupiter conjunction is actually conjunction of leadership, of ambition, of winning wars. People who have this conjunction in their horoscopes would be really having this impetus to lead, it is exactly conjunction which gives nature and capabilities of people to rule, to lead, to participate in battles. This is a quite masculine conjunction, so to say. And this is also forming the nature of powerful fixed stars, some of which are with the royal stars. So this is a powerful conjunction, not negative, but depends how it's placed in people's horoscopes, can also be a little bit challenging. But it is conjunction that contains a lot of power. The energies are very, very powerful. Now also, and especially when Pluto is also there. I will make separate video only about this, but just to make a small introduction on what is this week giving us as a start. Also, Venus Lovely also this week is in the sign of where she is exalted in Pisces, and this is beautiful because this is softening the influences of this particular Ketu Mars conjunction. And also this week until the end of the week, for another 6 days, Mercury is visible for most of biggest parts of the world, and Mercury is visible in Aquarius, for which is supporting some initiatives related to education, media, spiritual activities, travel, communication. Now keep in mind that the moon is waning this week, and the waning moon is not so much supportive when it comes to important new beginnings, important new projects. So this is important to tell you when you will be making use of the particular Mercurian qualities in terms of studies, writing. Keep in mind that this should be something that will not necessarily involve important for yourself new beginnings. So this was important. Of course, many other things are important. Also, Saturn is now in sidereal Capricorn and is not yet becoming visible. And now let's start to look at each of the 12 ascendants. And we're starting, like I said, the for each ascendant, you will find the timestamps under this video. Let's look at Aries rising, Aries ascendant. This is sidereal perspective. If you're following the modern tropical astrology, most probably you will recognize yourself as Taurus. It is Aries sidereal or Taurus tropical, and you can also think of your moon sign. This would also have some impact, what I will be telling you. Now for you, Ketu, the lunar node Ketu, Mars and Jupiter are meeting on your 9th house for people with Mars ascendant. This is harmonious because the 9th house for you is harmonious. It is trining your ascendant. So these are positive energies which may give you this desire, wish, impetus to travel, to negotiate, to study, to start something new. This is wonderful. Just keep in mind that this week is not so appropriate for new beginnings, but could be very good for studies, could be also good to travel. Now, also for launching, well, launching not, but maybe engaging yourself into continuing your studies and giving special attention to studies, because this will give you good results. Also, you can travel, negotiate. Now, the sun, this week will leave your 10th house to enter your 11th house to join Mercury there, and this will be fine will give this beautiful emphasis on your social life, on gains, on incomes. The week is fine in terms of incomes. Just you need a bit to harmonize with these Martian powerful energies with Ketu. Use your intuition and don't be very impulsive when making decisions. Just think twice. Health-wise, the week is fine. I was asked by some of you to mention about surgical interventions. I would say that you may do some surgical interventions. Yes. Also, in terms of spiritual activities, the week is very fine. In terms of, because of the placement of Venus in the 12th, because of Jupiter, Mars, Ketu on your 9th house, and the week can be fine for and support your health. So this was about Aries ascendant. Now we will be looking at Taurus ascendant. Now for you, your ascendant ruler is exalted on your 11th house, very fine for your incomes, for gains. On the other hand, Mercury is still visible on your 10th house and the sun will join your 10th house. This could be good for your career. This could bring some, well, this will emphasize in a way your career, but in a positive way, because when Mercury is there visible in a heliacal phase, this can create different opportunities to negotiate, to communicate with superiors, and this placement of Mercury is fine. On the other hand, lucky maybe for you, Mars is leaving your descendant to restore the peace in your romantic life maybe, and he will join Jupiter, Ketu, Pluto on your 8th house, which could make maybe the financial life of your partner very busy, and could be also that this could bring some unexpected incomes. Health-wise, the week is fine for you. You may travel, you may negotiate. Some surgical interventions are also allowed, but not all new beginnings are appropriate. And now we will look at ascendant Gemini. Now, just to repeat, also the moon sign in Gemini could, what I will tell you could be useful for you. If you're following the tropical astrology, you will recognize yourself as Cancer. Now, Gemini, for you this week, for most parts of the world, Mercury is still visible in a heliacal phase and is creating harmonious aspect to your ascendant. And this is very nice, because this is supporting your plans, your projects, your studies. You may travel, you may negotiate with people. Oh, this is very nice. Venus is exalted on your 10th house to give blessing on your work environment, to create friendlier environment at your work. And Mars is entering your 7th house to meet Ketu and Jupiter there, and this would say that you may need to be a little bit cautious when it comes to new agreements, initiatives. Also, be loving and patient with your romantic partner, because Mars there can be a bit, the energies can become too much, too tense. So you may need to control with these impulsive energies. And when it comes to possibilities for new agreements, new negotiations, be a little bit cautious and ask your intuition. And the week is not very appropriate for new beginnings, but is very good for your for plans, for communication, for negotiations with people abroad. Just keep in mind these Martian energies, which you may need to channel in a way to use in useful for yourself direction. And every negotiation, possible agreement, just double check, triple check, because Mars is there and he may create some disharmonies. And now let's look at Ascendant Cancer, or this will be tropical Leo. So sidereal Cancer or tropical astrology Leo, or you can use this information for your moon sign. Now for you, you're having Venus exalted, which this week visible exalted beautifully will try and will create harmonious aspect to your ascendant. This is blessing in any sense. Blessing for your studies, blessing for travel, blessing for plans, blessing for career, literally for everything. This will support also your health. Now, Jupiter enters your 6th house with, excuse me, not Jupiter, Mars enters your 6th house, where he will enter meet Ketu and Jupiter and Pluto. And this is a little bit disharmonious. This can make your routine work environment to lack its harmony. This can create environment which will be a bit hostile, disharmonious, too busy, too hectic, too stressful. There you may need to be a bit cautious, bring back the peace to your routine environment. You may need this week to be cautious with subordinates, colleagues, people that work, that share in general your work, job, routine environment. Saturn is in Capricorn, still invisible. He's in your descendant place, and there in this place, he is the place where he's bringing justice. This would say, see after approximately 10 days, I'm saying approximately because it's different from the different area of the world, when he becomes visible, what energies he will bring you. And this will be the energies that will share, that will describe his entire period of presence in the sign of Capricorn on your descendant. And your descendant is the place of your romantic partner, of all your partnerships, and the people that you know. In any case, Saturn is not there for bad. He's there to bring you, to restore the harmony and peace if needed, to restore what is to make sure that the karma is being fulfilled. So in any case, Saturn in Capricorn is in own house, so I don't expect that he will be that bad. Just see in approximately 10 days how his beginning will be, because even now, if he's in the sign of Capricorn, he's still not visible. He works on subtle nature. We cannot literally experience his energies, but we will after he becomes visible, because if you look now in the sky, you will not see Saturn. So this was, apologies. So this was for Ascendant Cancer. And now we're looking at Ascendant Leo, Sidereal, or Tropical Virgo. All right, for you, for Ascendant Leo, or Moon in Leo, or Sidereal, or Tropical Virgo. Now for you, your Ascendant ruler this week will enter your 7th house, will meet Mercury there, which is fine. Actually, this will give some stability, if you want, into your private life, can bring some stability into your into the people that you have agreements with, contracts. On the other hand, Mars is entering your 5th house to join Ketu and Jupiter and Pluto. This will make your 5th house very busy. The 5th house is the house of children, so you may need to be a little bit attentive, cautious with children, with their security, safety, and you also should know that this can bring desires to study, to do work of creativity, to study creative and also knowledge, which is not necessarily the university knowledge, but something that is creative, something that is esoteric, occult. On the other hand, Venus is exalted on your 8th house, where she's supportive the finances of your partner or incomes that may come in surprising way for you. This week is fine for your finances. You may travel, you may negotiate, only be a little bit attentive when it comes to children up until Mars moves away. And this is, I think, 23rd of March. Saturn is on your 6th house, and he will be restoring the justice, so to say, on your 6th house. He's still not visible there, so also this week his energies work on a bit hidden way. You cannot experience them directly. For a big part of the world, he's becoming visible after 17th of February, so now we cannot talk yet about his energies. You may negotiate, you may travel. New beginnings are not very appropriate this week. Some surgical interventions are. And now we're looking at ascendant sidereal Virgo or tropical Libra. Now for you, your ascendant ruler is on your 6th house, visible for most parts of the world this week. The sun is entering also your 6th house. This will make your routine environment, your work environment, your job very, very busy in a good way. I think it will be in a very constructive, productive way. This week, Mercury is still visible on your 6th house. This is very fine. Venus is exalted on your 7th house, and this will restore peace if needed in your romantic life. This will bring love and passion maybe in your romantic life, also because Mars is creating aspect. So this is very nice. This can support also some agreements or contractual relations if you have some. Mars is entering your 4th house, and this would say that you may need to be a little bit cautious when it comes to relationship with superiors, patient with people at home, because this environment becomes very, very busy and the energies there will be a little bit unpredictable. You may travel, you may negotiate. Some medical interventions are allowed this week, but the week is not very appropriate for new beginnings. And now we're looking at Libra sidereal, Libra ascendant, or if you're following the tropical astrology, this would be Scorpio. Also moon in Libra, and this could be also valid for you. Now, your ascendant ruler Venus is on your 6th house. There she will bring peace into your routine environment. There she will be supporting for good your health. There she will be helping you to win over enemies if needed. On the other hand, Mercury is still visible and quite powerful and creating harmonious aspect to your ascendant on your 5th house, where he will be creating good opportunities for study, for sharing knowledge, for doing work of design, pleasure, creativity, and also this will be good for your gains and incomes. Mars is entering your 3rd house to join Ketu, Jupiter, and Pluto. And this means that this week, for up until Mars is there, which is 23rd of March, this would say that this time particularly is not so appropriate for you to travel or to negotiate. But you may direct these energies in a good way, like studying, sharing your knowledge. So this was for a sun. And you may do some surgical interventions, and you also may travel and negotiate. You need to be careful, like I said. Some medical interventions are possible, new beginnings not. And now we will be looking at sidereal ascendant Scorpio or moon in Scorpio, or this will be, if you follow in the modern tropical astrology, Sagittarius. Now for you, Mars is leaving your ascendant to enter your second house, where Mars will meet Ketu, Jupiter, and Pluto. This will not be bad for your finances, but can create some disturbances there, can make your work environment disharmonious, so be a little bit cautious. On the other hand, this can create disharmonies when it comes to communication with family members. Now, Mercury is visible and powerful on your fourth house, where he can support negotiations, which can be for people who do real estate, for example, and have Scorpio ascendant. This could be also could bring new ideas related to your career and home. Venus is fine, very, very powerful and beautifully placed, exalted on your fifth house, good for your love life, good for work of pleasure, good for creative activities, good for creative studies, good for those who need the muse to do some work of beauty and design. So this is very fine, also for studies. This week you may negotiate, you may travel, just be a little bit cautious because the Mars in the second house can also influence in the negotiations. So be very intuitive and plan well your activities. Some medical interventions are allowed, and also new beginnings are not very appropriate this week, also for your ascendant. And now we're looking at ascendant sidereal Sagittarius or Sagittarius moon. And if you're following the tropical astrology, it will be Capricorn. So sidereal Sagittarius, tropical Capricorn. Now Jupiter is beautifully on your ascendant, but Mars entered your ascendant, where he will be until 23rd of March. And Mars on your ascendant with Ketu, this is not very harmonious. So you may need to be a little bit cautious. You may have these impetus desires to fulfill your desires, to fulfill your plans. But this week, new beginnings are not so appropriate. The Martian energy can create disharmonies, can bring disturbances. So try to direct properly the Martian energies, like because he's ruling your fifth house, you can do creative activities or studies, design, work of beauty, sport. On the other hand, Venus is very supportive and beautifully exalted on your fourth house, and she will be helpful for these Martian energies. Because of the placement of Mercury, you may travel, you may negotiate, just be cautious of the Martian energies. And when you want to travel or negotiate, plan your activities very well. Also, use your intuition. In terms of health, the week is fine. Just don't get involved into risky situations. Be a little bit cautious and very, very intuitive. Some medical interventions are allowed, but the new beginnings are not very, very appropriate this week. And now we will be looking at ascendant Capricorn, sidereal, or tropical modern Aquarius, or Capricorn moon. This can also be quite appropriate. For you, Saturn, we know, is on your ascendant, where he will be staying up until 2.5 years from now. Saturn on your ascendant, you maybe do not feel yet his powerful energies. Saturn is good for you. This is your ascendant ruler. But you probably do not feel his powerful energies yet because he's still invisible. For some part of the world, after mid-February, he will become visible. Then you will start feeling his energies, and then you will know what will he bring you until his entire stay in Capricorn. However, when in Capricorn, he can make you achieve your goals. He can give you power. He can give you many, many opportunities. But how exactly depends on your chart. Mercury visible, powerful on your second house will be fine for your incomes. Venus exalted creates harmonious aspect towards your ascendant and descendant. This is good for your private life, for your incomes. This week you may travel, you may negotiate. Be a little bit cautious for your health in particular because of the placement of Mars. So yes, some medical interventions are allowed. New beginnings are not very, very appropriate this week also for you. Now we're looking at Ascendant Aquarius, Sidereal, or this will be Tropical Pisces or Aquarius Moon as well. Or if you're following the tropical modern astrology, this will be Pisces. Now, Mercury, powerful, is still visible on your ascendant, where he will support some activities like activities of creativity, knowledge, negotiation, traveling, and this is beautiful. Venus exalted on your second house is very nice for your finances. Mars entered your 11th house, where he can bring you desires to make money, to generate gains and profits. But keep in mind that these energies are a bit unpredictable. Mars with Ketu and Jupiter. Jupiter and Mars conjunction is fine. It's a conjunction of leadership. But Mars and Ketu is quite unpredictable conjunction. Therefore, be cautious with the people that you call your friends. Also, when it comes to plans and ambitions and desires, use your intuition. Also, keep in mind that this week is not so appropriate for new beginnings. It is, you may do some medical interventions, you may travel, you may negotiate. Just keep in mind the placement of Mars. And now we will be looking at Ascendant Pisces, Sidereal, Pisces Moon, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, most probably you will be Aries. Now, Pisces, for you, Venus exalted on your ascendant, nothing can be better than this. Beautiful, she's powerful, exalted, she gives you a harmony, blessing, love, she helps improve your love life, she gives you joy, she's actually supporting every activity you do, and this is really wonderful also this week. Mars is entering your 10th house, where he may create these harmonies because he's meeting Ketu. They're on your 10th house of your career. So you may need to be very, Venus will be saving you, yes, but still career-wise, you may need to be very diplomatic, very intuitive. On the other hand, Mercury is visible in your 12th house to create wonderful opportunity for spiritual activities, for meditations, for if you like to spend time in a temple. All this is according to the 12th house, for knowledge, for studies, for travel abroad. So this week you may do all those. Keep in mind that the week is not very appropriate for new beginnings, but is appropriate for some medical interventions. Financially, the week will also be fine for you. Just be aware of the possible disharmonies at your career place, because Mars there can be a bit challenging and very unpredictable together with Ketu. So this was my week for the 12 ascendants. My contacts, if you want to contact me, are under this video, and your contacts, your comments are very welcome. Thank you for your attention.